Hello, friends. Welcome, everyone, to our weekly vigil on behalf of the situation in the Middle East. We are grateful that so many of us just continue keeping up this rhythmic flow of the will to love, the will to peace into this area. We have a limit of 100 people on this call. So if some of you would like to go to YouTube, which is the link is in the chat, in order to make sure that people who come late may be able to join this meeting, that would be very good. Okay. So let us start today again with, first of all, hearing about some voices from the ground before we go into meditation. So I give it over to you, Helen.
Thank you. Hello, friends. In the middle of the roaring war, when violence and hatred and death are prevalent, the pain is huge for all of us living those times and here in this place in the Middle East. We try to rise above the heaviness on the burning ground with heavy hearts and with compassion, trying to open our hearts. Today, I would like to bring again a personal observation and experience of underlying tiny points of light that give a bit of hope. A very subtle shift in consciousness among people. It's happening. So, a simple narrative of life in the actual circumstances. This week, I had conversations with taxi drivers and delivery people, both Arabs and Jews. Those conversations affirmed this shift we sense. This shift that we sense is budding to the surface. Like things have to be changed. We have to come to our senses. The talk is about the impossibility to continue the way we did till now, an eye for an eye. Time has come to open our eyes. What are we doing to each other? How have we come to such extremism, such hatred? So many victims, such unbearable pain. Stop the criminal colonial occupation and stop the ethnic cleansing. Stop the criminal violence. Stop the attacks. Stop all extremism of our righteousness. And stop cruelty on all sides. We are casualties. We are victims of this warfare. So said my friend Amal, with whom I spoke this morning. And hopefully she will be online to say the great invocation in Arabic. She told me this today, that we are victims, all of us are victims, with great sadness. And unfortunately, we are contributing to perpetuate the situation. So I report this little narrative from conversations with people, some people around me, a small spark, a small bud of a different kind of awareness, while destructive war is raving and emotions are at their peak. And while my heart and many others ache, I am asking, are we going to begin learning a lesson here in humans' relations? Are we? Thank you all for being together. Over to you, Uta.
Thank you, Helen, for these heart-touching words. Yeah. Are we learning a lesson here? And this goes, of course, not only for Israel-Palestine, but for so many places, and actually for all of us, for all humans now. Seems that more and more people do slowly wake up to the fact that an eye for an eye will really not lead us anywhere. And that to continue analyzing who is right and who is wrong, not from this will come peace. So let us focus on what has a chance to bring about peace. And we've been working for a while now with this following statement on the recognition of the sacredness of each person and on the oneness of humanity. Peace is built. Let's imagine for a moment that everybody would agree to this, the sacredness of each person and the oneness of humanity. If we would have these two statements, these two truths in our heart, in our consciousness, that would inevitably lead to peace. So let us use our time together in meditation today to radiate this solution-oriented thought into the consciousness of humanity. Because it's really a human process now to realize this. And just to remind that we will not have a sharing after the meditation, but we continue holding this common heart space during the week, and we will reconvene in the Vigil next week at the same time. Thank you all so much for keeping up this presence. So let us take a breath to settle into our body. and to connect with our earth, our common home. Feel our heart pulsing. Finding within it a point of equilibrium. And let a silence settle into our mind, a calm spaciousness. Let us come together now as souls, as silent watchers. And let us visualize ourselves standing together with many people all over the world who also are turned to the people in the Middle East, visualizing ourselves forming a huge circle around the region, a huge witnessing circle. And sense all hearts joining in this circle of care. And also all minds joining into one telepathic field, standing together, calm and steady. Releasing now all partial thoughts, all partial feelings, realizing that all participants in the war are souls as we are. Our brothers and sisters. So as impartial observers, let us now take a look at the area. First the physical, just taking in the physical circumstances, seeing Israel and the Palestinian areas of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And adding now the neighboring countries, Egypt to the south, Jordan and Syria to the east, and Lebanon to the north. And get a sense of this whole area being part of the Middle East as a whole. Now, holding this physical picture, let us open our awareness now to the emotional and mental situation that underlie the physical happenings. Just silently witnessing, breathing, holding, And as we stand holding this situation, this crisis, let us at the same time become aware of the higher forces that stand with us, behind us. Let us open our hearts to their love, to their strength, to their clear vision. Just standing in this high vibration, tuning to it. And we invoke the help of the higher forces now. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May people of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part. So we continue standing in our witnessing circle, holding this whole inflamed area, focusing in our heart, the deep heart, where love and will unite. Having released all judgment, all preconceived ideas of right or wrong, just standing, imagining our heart center as a radiant sun. And now see and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, pouring through each of our hearts onto the region. Let our combined light stream into the whole area for a carefully sustained minute. A shaft of pure golden white light. All of our hearts together, flooding the whole area. standing as a peace-commanding presence. Let us now project this peace-orienting thought into the region. Every human life is sacred. Every human life is sacred. Let us focus now especially on those decision makers, advisors, and influencers who work behind the scenes for the highest good of all. Let us just direct our flood of golden white light onto them in subjective support. Let us now see the golden white light spreading out to the entire Middle East. And throughout the world. And as we now sound the great invocation in Arabic and in Hebrew, let us visualize this energy being anchored into the ground in the Middle East.
من نقطة النور في عقل الله ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض من نقطة الحب في قلب الله ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع السيد الآتي إلى الأرض من المركز الذي تعرف منه إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها من المركز الذي ندعوه بالجنس البشري لينتج رسم الحب والنور، ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر ليجدد النور والحب والقوة الرسم على الأرض.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, זרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדם. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם, תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, שם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור, אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. Om